You didn't notice it at first. It didn't arrive like a storm. There was no warning, no loud crash, no breaking glass. It was quiet, subtle, almost beautiful. Love walked into your life like it belonged there. Like it had always been waiting for you to catch up, and you let it in. Not because you were weak, not because you were desperate, but because for the first time in a long time, something felt right. You remember that feeling, don't you? That moment when everything seemed to slow down, when a simple message made your heart race, when their name lighting up your phone felt like the best part of your day. You started smiling more, sleeping less, thinking deeper. You told yourself, this is it. This is what people write songs about. This is what movies try and fail to capture. This is love. And at first, love gave you things you didn't even know you needed. It gave you hope. It made the world softer, kinder, warmer. It made you believe that maybe, just maybe, you weren't as alone as you thought. You started opening up, talking about things you never shared with anyone. Your fears, your past, the parts of you usually kept hidden, and they listened. Or at least, it felt like they did. Love made you feel seen. Not the version of you show the world, but the real you. The messy, imperfect, trying your best version of you. And for a while, that was enough, more than enough. But here's the thing about love, and it doesn't just give, it takes. At first, you didn't notice what it was taking from you, because what it gave felt bigger, stronger, more important. You didn't realize you were slowly changing, that your mood started depending on them, that your happiness had a name, and it wasn't yours anymore. You started checking your phone more often, reading into every word, every pause, every delay. What did they mean by that? Why didn't they reply yet? Did I say something wrong? You went from feeling secure to feeling unsure, and still you told yourself, it's just love. You began prioritizing them over everything, over your time, your peace, even your self-respect. Because somewhere along the way you convinced yourself that love requires sacrifice and you were willing to give everything. You gave your time, late-night calls when you were exhausted, long conversations when you had things to do, endless patience when things didn't make sense. You gave your energy, thinking about them, worrying about them, trying to understand them. You gave your heart, fully, completely, without backup. And in return, you expected the same. But that's where things started to shift, because love didn't stay the same. They didn't stay the same. The effort faded. The consistency slipped. The little things, the things that once meant everything, started disappearing. Good morning texts became occasional. Calls became shorter. Replies became slower. And suddenly, you were the only one trying. But you didn't walk away. No, you held on tighter, because you remembered how it felt in the beginning. You kept chasing that version of them, that version of love, that version of you. And this is where love changed you. You became someone you didn't recognize. You started overthinking everything, replaying conversations in your head, analyzing tone, searching for hidden meanings. You started doubting yourself. Am I too much? Am I not enough? Why am I the only one feeling this way? You lost your balance. Your emotions became unpredictable. One moment you were happy, the next completely shattered, and the worst part, it all depended on them. A message could fix your mood. A silence could ruin your entire day. That's what love did to you. It gave someone else control over your emotions. You started ignoring red flags, things you would have never accepted before. Disrespect, inconsistency, mixed signals. You saw them. Of course you did, but you explained them away. They're just busy. They're going through something. They still cared, I know they do. Because accepting the truth would mean losing them, and losing them felt like losing yourself. You began shrinking, holding back your thoughts to avoid conflict, lowering your standards to keep them close, silencing your needs so they wouldn't leave, and slowly you disappeared. This wasn't the confident, self-assured person you used to be. This wasn't the version of you that knew your worth. This was someone else, someone shaped by love, or at least in what you thought was love. And then came the breaking point. Maybe it was a conversation, or the lack of one. Maybe it was something they said, or something they didn't. Maybe it wasn't even one moment, but a collection of moments, tiny cracks that finally became impossible to ignore. You realized something painful, something you didn't want to admit. They weren't giving you what you were giving them. Not the effort, not the energy, not the love, and suddenly, everything made sense. All the confusion, all the anxiety, all the overthinking. It wasn't because you were too much. It was because they were giving you less than you deserved, but even then, you struggled to let go. Because love had already changed you. It had taught you to hold on, to fight, to believe. Even when things didn't make sense, even when it hurt. So you stayed, a little longer than you should have. You tried, a little harder than you needed to. You gave, a little more than they deserved. Until one day, you couldn't anymore. Not because you stopped loving them, but because you started losing yourself. And that scared you more than losing them ever could. So you walked away. Not dramatically, not loudly, but quietly. Just like how it all began. And at first, it hurt. More than anything you had ever felt before. The silence was heavy. The absence was loud. Everything reminded you of them. Songs, places, memories. You questioned your decision, wondered if you gave up too soon. If maybe, just maybe, things could have worked, but deep down you knew the truth. You didn't lose them. You lost the version of them you created in your mind. The version that loved you the way you needed. The version that stayed. The version that never really existed. And slowly, you started healing. Not all at once, not in a straight line, but little by little. You began to remember who you were. Before love changed you, before you started doubting yourself, before you forgot your worth, you started doing things for yourself again. Not for validation, not for attention, but because it felt good, because it felt right. You stopped checking your phone, stopped overthinking, stopped chasing, and for the first time in a long time, you felt peace, real peace. Not the temporary kind that depends on someone else, but the kind that comes from within. And that's when you realized something important. Love didn't ruin you. It revealed you. It showed you how deeply you can feel, how much you can give, how far you're willing to go for someone you care about. But it also taught you what you should never tolerate again. It taught you boundaries, self-respect, the difference between love and attachment. Because real love, it doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't leave you feeling anxious and unsure. Real love feels safe, consistent, reciprocal. And now, you know the difference. So no, love didn't break you. It changed you. It made you stronger, wiser, more aware. And one day, when love finds you again, you won't lose yourself this time. Because now you know love isn't supposed to cost you who you are, and you're finally choosing yourself.